Greetings of the day. Welcome to the tutorial on microprocessors W2110. This is in continuation to the previous tutorial with instruction set of 8051. In this tutorial, I will be discussing the remaining instructions of 8051. Here, I will be discussing about logical instructions, rotate instruction, program branching instructions, Boolean instructions of 8051. Starting with the logical instructions, there are three logical instructions in 8051 basically. They are AND, OR and XOR. Stands for ANL, destination comma source. Here a logical ANDing operation will be done with the source and destination bit by bit, and the result will be in destination. Similarly, the logical operation like OR logical operation will be performed between source and a destination bit by bit, and the result will be in destination. Similarly, the XOR operation between source and destination will be done bit by bit, and result again will be stored in destination DST. Coming to the AND operation, we have few AND operations here like ANL A comma hash n. Here, for example, ANL A comma hash 56. This 56 is immediate data with respect to this instruction. The content of accumulator bit by bit will be ANDed with the given data 56 here, and the result will be in accumulator. Like here A and 56, and the result will be in accumulator. Similarly, ANL A comma ADDR, that is address. Here the content which is found at a particular location, say address, will be logically ANDed with the content of accumulator, and the result will be in accumulator. For example, ANL A comma 56. Here this 56 is the address of the operand in internal RAM. The control goes to that particular address, say 56 here, and get the data, and that data will be bit by bit ANDed with the data of accumulator, and the result will be in accumulator. There is a big difference between this instruction and this instruction. This instruction here we have a 56, and here also we have a 56. But this 56 is a data with which the operations will be done, whereas this 56 is the address of the data with which the operation need to be done. Then next, it is possible to have a logical ANDing between certain registers of 8051 and accumulator, like ANL A comma RR. RR is any register of the register banks in 8051. The content of the given register, for example here ANL A R1, the content of R1 will be logically ANDed with the content of accumulator, and the result will be in accumulator. Whereas this instruction get the data indirectly, ANL A at RR. Here the content of the memory location whose address is in RR will be logically ANDed bit by bit with the content of accumulator, and the result will be in accumulator. Like this here, the content of the memory location pointed by R1 will be ANDed with accumulator, result will be in accumulator. For example, ANL A comma at R1. This R1 here contains the address of the operand of internal RAM, and control goes to the specified memory location whose content is in R1, and from there it gets the data. That data bit by bit will be added with accumulator, and the result will be in accumulator. Similarly, here is a direct way of accessing the operand, ANL address comma accumulator. Here the content of the memory location which is pointed by this given address will be bit by bit ANDed with the content of accumulator, but here the result will be address. For example, ANL space 56H comma accumulator. The content of accumulator with the content of a memory location pointed by this 56 will be ANDed together, and the result will be replaced in the same memory location 56. Here the content of accumulator will not be changed, whereas the content of the memory location 56 will change with the result of this particular operation. Similarly, it is possible to have AND operation with the immediate number and the operand which is found in the given address. ANL address comma hash n. Here this hash n is an immediate number in the instruction. This immediate number will be logically ANDed with the number which is pointed by this given address. For example, ANL 56H comma hash 12. This hash 12 is an immediate number. This hash 12 will be logically ANDed with the content of the memory location 56, and the result will be in this particular location, say 56 here. Next, we have a similar instruction with the logical OR operation, like logical OR ORL A comma hash n. Here the immediate number 56 will be logically ORed with the content of accumulator bit by bit, and the result will be in accumulator. Similarly, a direct way of giving address of an operand here is ORL A comma address. In this instruction, the address of the operand is given with which the OR operation need to be performed. For example, ORL A comma 56. Here, the logical OR operation will be done bit by bit between the content of the accumulator and the content of the memory location whose address is 56, and the result will be in accumulator only. It is similarly possible to have a logical OR operation between any registers of 8051 with accumulator, like ORL A comma R1. The content of R1 of a specified bank register in 8051 will be bit by bit logically ORed with the content of accumulator, and the result will be in accumulator. And another indirect way of accessing is ORL A comma at RR. Here this RR contains the address of the operand in the internal RAM with which the OR operation need to be done along with the content of accumulator. For example, ORL A comma at R2. The content of the memory location whose address is in R2 will be brought, and that will be logically ORed with the content of accumulator bit by bit. The result will be accumulator. Then next is ORL address comma accumulator. Here the content of accumulator will be logically ORed with the content of the memory location whose address is specified here. For example, 56. So a logical OR operation will be done with the content of accumulator and the content of the memory location 56. The result of logical OR operation will be placed in 56 only. So after executing this instruction, the content of accumulator will remain the same, whereas the content of a memory location 56 will be replaced with the logical OR operation between the data found at 56 and content of accumulator. It is possible to have an immediate OR operation with the memory location directly, like ORL address comma hash n. This hash n is an immediate number with respect to this instruction. Then, for example, ORL 56H comma hash 56. Here, this 56 is a data immediately available to this instruction, whereas this 56 is the address of the operand with which the operation need to be done with this 56. So the content goes to the memory location 56, it brings the data, and logical OR operation bit by bit will be performed with this 56, and the result of this operation will be reflected in the 56 memory location. These are the logical OR operations which are possible in 8051. Coming to the XOR operation, XOR operation are also similar to OR operation of 8051. Here XRL A comma hash n. The immediate number which is mentioned here will have a logical XOR operation between the content of the accumulator and the result will be an accumulator. For example, XRL A comma hash 56. This immediate number 56 will be logically XORed bit by bit with accumulator content, and the result will be an accumulator like this here. XRL A comma address. Here in this instruction, the address of the operand is given in the instruction. For example, XRL A comma 56. The content of the memory location pointed by this 56 will be brought, and the logical XOR operation will be performed between that operand and the content of accumulator, the result will be in accumulator. This is how it is performed. XRL A comma RR. It is possible to have XOR operation between certain registers of 8051 with the content of accumulator like XRL A comma R1. R1 is some register of the register banks in 8051. The content of R1 register bit by bit XOR with the content of accumulator, and the result will be in accumulator. Similarly, XRLA at RR. Here, this RR register will contain the address of the operand with which the XOR operation need to be performed. For example, XRLA comma at R1. Here the control goes to the memory location whose address is in R1, brings that data, and logical XOR operation will be performed bit by bit with that content and the content of accumulator. The result will be in accumulator like this. Then XRL address comma accumulator A. Here XOR operation will be performed with the content of the memory location pointed by this and the content of accumulator, and the result will be in that particular memory location. Then XRL address comma #n. Here the XOR operation will be performed between the immediate data which is given in the instruction with the content of the memory location whose address is specified here. For example, XRL 56H comma #56. This #56 is a data with which the logical XOR operation will be performed with the operand which is found at this location, and this location will be replaced with the operation output or output of the particular operation in this location. Okay. Then next instruction, look at a rotate instruction. So in 8051 we have around 4 to 5 rotate instructions like this. We have RLA, RLCA, RRA, RRCA. Here RLA stands for rotate accumulator 1 bit to the left. So content of accumulator will be rotated 1 bit towards the left side. Here the content of accumulator will be rotated towards left side through the carry, and this instruction rotate accumulator right, the content of accumulator will be moved towards the right side, whereas here the content of accumulator will be moved towards the right side 1 bit through the carry. Then we'll see at the end a swap instruction. Here this is RLA instruction, rotate accumulator left. From this side to this side, the content of accumulator will be rotated, rather you can say shifted, because it's a rotation from this end to this end. Then after that it is shifted here. That means the 0th bit, this bit will be shifted to this bit, 0th bit will be shifted to 1 bit will be shifted, or content of this location will be shifted to this location, and so on. Then MSB or 8 bit of accumulator will be brought and will be copied into the 0th location, or this location here. Okay, this is why we call it to be a rotation. It is other than not similar to a shifting concept. Shifting means here the content of MSB will be lost and the LSB will be inserted with a 0. Whereas since it is shifting, the content of MSB, that is the MSB bit, will be copied into LSB bit, and other bits will be shifted like this. Similarly, RLCA is rotate accumulator left through carry. Here what happens is the first bit, that is 0th bit, this bit will be copied into the next bit, again this bit will be copied into the next bit, and so on. Whereas the MSB bit here will be copied into the carry flag, and whatever was the carry flag, the content of the carry flag will be copied into this LSB bit. This is what we call to be through carry. So MSB will be copied into carry flag, and carry flag will be copied into the LSB bit. Similar to these two, we have a rotate right side. Here the content of accumulator will be rotated 1 bit towards the right side. Right? Here MSB will be copied into this location, and this location, again the content of this location will be copied into this location, content of this to copy into this, whereas LSB bit now will be copied into the MSB bit. So it is shifting towards right side. Then RRCA is rotate accumulator right through carry. The content of LSB bit is copied into the carry flag. The content of carry flag will be copied into the MSB. So these are different four rotate instructions in 8051. Coming to the swap instruction, is the swap A. This is only instruction with accumulator. The content of accumulator will be swapped. How the content is divided now? The content of accumulator will be into two halves. That is upper nibble got to be upper 4 bits. LSB 4 bits of accumulator. We got to be lower nibble, and MSB 4 bits of accumulator we got to be upper nibble. When you execute this instruction, the upper nibble will be copied into lower nibble and lower nibble will be copied into upper nibble. This is what we call to be swap instruction of 8051. Coming to the program branch instruction. These are the instructions which will be taking control from one place to another place. Now how they are taking control from one place to another place, we have two different categories of this program branching instruction. One we call it to be jump instruction and other we call it to be call instruction. Both these instructions will take the control away from its normal execution based on certain condition and the strategies. Looking at branch instruction, a jump and a call. Again, the jump instruction and the call instruction can be divided into two different categories called as conditional jump and unconditional jump. The conditional jump will go from or take a control from one point to another point based on certain conditions, whereas unconditional jump instruction, without taking any conditions into consideration, control will be taken from one place to another place or from one address to another address. For example, in conditional jump instruction, we have jump on carry, JC, jump on carry. Here, this instruction will check the content of a carry flag. If the carry flag is set, then control goes to the specified location. Whereas here in unconditional jump, we say absolute jump, A jump, without taking any condition. Whenever microcontroller encounters this particular instruction, it goes to the specified location. And since it is not taking any condition into consideration to move from one location to another location, such instructions we call to be unconditional instructions or unconditional jump instruction. Similar to the call instruction, we have conditional call and unconditional call. With respect to 8051, we have two instructions, A call and L call in unconditional call instruction, whereas we don't have any instruction on a conditional. Okay, so let's go with a jump instruction. Again, with respect to how a control is taken from one point to another point. Is it 2 bit towards left side or right side, or 1 kilobyte from left side or right side from where it is occurring? Say we have three categories of jump instruction, or it is even with respect to the call instruction. Relative jump. This jump will replace the content of a program counter from -127 to +128 or less somewhere. That means if your control is somewhere here, for example control is here, say, then the jump can be 128 byte towards this side or towards this side. So based on this, based on this, as a jump will be taken. Similarly, short absolute. In short absolute, the control will be between 2 kilobyte page. So if the control is here and the short jump is encountered, the control can go from this location to 2 kilobyte towards previous instructions, or 2 kilobyte from the further forward instructions. So then we have long absolute. In case of a long absolute, here the address ranges from 0000 to FFFH. Okay, so these are long absolute. These are long jumps. These are short jumps, and there are very short jumps, you can say. Coming to the instructions like JC, ADDR. here we call it to be relative address. Okay, jump on carry, this is conditional instruction. The conditional instruction here, it checks the control jumps to the specified label if the carry flag is set to 1, like JC label, or here you see JC jump on carry to the label. If the carry flag is set to 1, then control goes to the label, else it continues the remaining instruction. Similarly, JNC jump on carry to relative address, jump to the specified address or a label if the carry flag is reset, that is reset to 0. JNC label, label here is address where the control has to be taken if the carry flag is reset. Similarly, it is possible to jump to a relative address if particular set bit is set to 1, like JB space small b comma relative address. For example, JB ACC.2 space label. Here the control will go to the specified label if the third bit of accumulator is set to 1. Or similarly, JB P1.2, it is P1 is the port 1 and dot 2 it specifies the third pin of the port 2. So here what will happen? Here the control goes to the third pin of, say control goes to the label if the third pin of the port 1 carries logic 1. So here it is going to check whether the bit is set or not. Similarly, JNB B relative address. For example, JNB ACC.2 space label. Here jump if the third bit of accumulator is reset and go to this label. Similarly, you can check with the port also, JNB P1.3 comma label. Control goes to this label if the fourth bit of port 1 is reset. If the fourth pin of port 1 is carrying 0, control goes to this particular location or a label only. JBC B relative address. Here little change will be there with the destination. Jump to the relative address if addressable bit is set to 1 and after jumping or while jumping it clears the addressable bit to 0. For example, JBC accumulator.2 label. What happens here? If the third bit of accumulator is set to 1, control goes to this specified address, and while it is going, then the third bit of accumulator will be now reset. Earlier it was set to 1. Based on that condition, it goes to this location, and while it is going, when it is going, it will clear that content and go. Similarly, JBC P1.3 label. The control goes to this label and it will check whether the fourth bit of port 1 is set to 1 or not. If it is set to 1, and then it goes to label, and before it goes to label, it clears that particular pin number or that particular bit. Similarly, we have CJNE. Here, in addition to compare, it takes other operation also into consideration. Here, like CJNE accumulator comma address comma relative address. What happens here? The content of accumulator with the content of direct address, if they are not equal, then jump to the relative address. If a content of accumulator is greater than the content of memory location, then C flag is set, else it is cleared. For example, here CJNE A comma 24H comma label. Here the content of accumulator and the content of the memory location specified with this address will be compared. If they are not equal, then control goes to the label given address, else the execution will continue. Similarly, here CJNE A comma #n comma relative address. Here the comparison will be done with the content of accumulator and the given number. If they are not equal, then the control goes to the relative address. For example, CJNE A, The control goes to the label if the content of accumulator is not equal to 24. If it is equal to 24, then it executes similar way. If they are not equal, it goes to the label. Similarly, CJNA, RP, comma, #n, relative address. Here, the comparison will be done with the content of a specified register and the immediate number. When they are not equal, then the control goes to a specified label like CJNA R1, #24. The content of R1 register mentioned here of a specified bank will be compared with the 24. If they are not equal, then control goes to this particular label, else it continues the remaining instruction. Then CJNA at RP, #n and relative address. The content of the memory location which is pointed by R1. So R1 here contains the address of the internal RAM where the operand is present. Then that operand will be compared with the given number, say #24 here. So that number will be that operand will be compared with this operand. If they are not equal, control goes to label instruction. So these are compare and jump instructions of 8051. Then some more instructions like DJNZ, decrement and jump on no zero. What is to be decremented here? Here the content of RP register will be decremented by 1, will be subtracted by 1, and content goes to the control goes to the specified address if the result is not 0. For example, DJNZ R6. The control goes to the label if the content of R6 is not 0. Before checking this, it decrements. So decrement the content of R6 by 1 and jump to the relative address, jump to this label if the result is not 0. Similarly, DJNZ, address, relative address. Here, the content of the memory location pointed by this address, for example, DJNZ 40H, label. The content of the memory location 40H will be decremented by 1 and control goes to the label if it is not set to 0. Similarly, JNZ, relative address. Jump to the relative address if accumulator is not 0. Jump on no 0 or jump on 0, JZ, relative address. Here the default destination, default register is accumulator. If content of accumulator is not set to 0, then control goes to the label JNZ. Okay, so these are all conditional jump instructions, whereas we have some unconditional jump instructions like JMP at A plus DPTR. The control goes to the memory location whose address is formed by the addition of content of accumulator plus DPTR, and then without taking any condition into consideration, it moves to the specified location. Similarly, AJMP, short address. Here, immediately whatever the address is being given here, the control goes to this location. There are no conditions which are taken into consideration. Hence, they are called as unconditional jump instruction. Similarly, LJMP and SJMP, long jump and a short jump. SJMP, label it without taking any condition into consideration. Then whenever microcontroller or controller will encounter this specific instruction, when it is executed, then control goes to the specified location or a label. Coming to the call instruction, in 8051 we have mainly two types of call instruction called to be LCall and absolute call. Here there is a big difference between the jump instruction and the call instruction, so it is worth noting here. The call is used to call a subroutine or a method. Subroutine are a set of instructions which need to be executed. They are separately written and placed in separate memory location. Subroutines are used to perform operations or tasks that need to be performed frequently. Say for example, when you are writing some code in C language, we'll be using printf and a scanf. Since they are frequently used instruction, then we can write them as a subroutine, and they can be called wherever you need them. So such type of tasks or operations can be written as a subroutine. So it is possible to call a subroutine in 8051. This makes a program more structured and saves memory space because it has to be written only once and you can call time and again. So what happens here? The difference between the jump and call here is when you say lcall or acall, the control goes to specified location or specified subroutine. Okay, before control goes to the specified subroutine, then it saves the context of the program. Like after executing subroutine, it has to come back to the specified location from where it left. So in order to, so here 8051 has to remember from where it has say let's say went to call or subroutine and where it has to come back. So there is a big difference between jump instruction and call instruction. So for example, here if you are moving J and Z, jump on no 0, then it goes to relative address whichever is specified, and from that address the control will not return back from where it has jumped to the relative there's a relative address. Whereas in case of call instruction, then jumping will takes place to a specified location from after executing that particular set of say instruction, then control again will come back to the place from where it left. Okay, so this is what is the difference. Then we have lcall. Lcall is a 3-byte instruction. Okay, the first byte represents the opcode and the second and third byte are used to provide address of the target subroutine. Okay, here say lcall subroutine 1. The subroutine 1 is basically is an address of the subroutine where you have written your as a subroutine or a task or an operation. Then similarly absolute call is a 2-byte instruction, then which is say acall subroutine. So control goes to the subroutine 1, it executes that control as a subroutine 1. Again, whenever it encounters RET statement, return statement, it comes back to the place where it left from executing. So these are all call instructions which are possible in 8051. Coming to the Boolean bitwise instructions, we have a various Boolean instructions which operate on a single bit. For example, clear, the operation is clear. If we say CLRC, the content of carry flag will be cleared. It will be with a 0. Then CLR address, this is a bitwise. So when you mention any address here, the complete address will be replaced with the 0 here. So if you are saying CLR 24H, the 24H is address of the memory location which will be cleared by this instruction. Then it is possible to complement a single bit CPLC. Okay, the content of a carry flag, whatever was there, now it will be changed to the opposite logic. That is CPLC. If the carry flag was set to 0, after executing this instruction, it will be 1. Similarly, it is possible with the address also. CPL address, given address, then the content of that particular address will be changed from 1 to 0, 0 to 1. Then it is possible to set a particular bit like SCTB set bit C, carry flag, irrespective of whether the carry flag was 1 or 0 before executing this, but after executing this instruction, then carry flag will be carrying 1, logic 1. Similarly, set bit address. So here the particular bit of the specified address will be set to 1. Then with respect to jump instruction, we say jump on carry address. Jump to the address if carry flag is 1. Jump on no carry. If carry flag is reset, it goes to the specified address. Then jump on if the source bit is set to 0. Jump on no bit set address, relative address. Jump on address, okay, jump bit. So if this bit or if say jump to the destination address, if source address is 0, source address bit is 0, this bit is set, okay, and the carry flag is set. Then last instruction is no operation, NOP. If you don't want to do anything, then you can give a NOP operation. These kind of operations will be very helpful when you want to create a delay. So these are different Boolean instructions supported in 8051, right? So now yes, I'll end here. So remaining these instructions, whatever we have studied in lecture 3 and 4, will be used in assembly language programming of 8051. That I will be discussing in lecture 4. Thank you. Thanks for listening.